Chapter 1185. Then. Yi Zizi's eyebrows twitched. Yi Yan instantly understood. He looked at his sister with a look that said, "Are you leaving or not?" Yi Lu used to be a very honest child, but she had been influenced by her brother recently. Actually, it was mainly because school was too boring, and he wanted to go out and play. "Let's go!" Yi Zizi shouted. "It's time to go out and play. It's been a long time since I brought Yen along to act cool." "Oh yeah, little sister, keep up." Yi Yan immediately ran to the front, like a child who was set free. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun looked like little kids. They really didn't look like their aunties. When he was at the door, he was stopped. Fortunately, Yi Yan and Yi Lu were famous. Yi Yan directly said, "The dean is missing. We must find him. It's my duty." Actually, everyone knew that Yi Yan and Yi Lu were about to be taken in as disciples by the dean, and now they all had to call him eldest senior brother. If this big senior brother wanted to go out, who could stop him? Yi Yan didn't expect it to be so easy. If he had known, he would have definitely sneaked out to play. "I feel like I'm in a prison. Today, I'm finally free." "Oh yeah," Yi Yan bounced around and looked around. There were a lot of snacks. But the taste wasn't that great. They didn't even add any seasonings. They didn't even add cumin powder. Good chicken tastes bad. "Sister, this Tonghulu is not bad. Lick it." "No licking. It's fine if you don't want to lick it." "I'll lick it. It's so sweet," Yi Yan said happily. He licked it together with Yi Zizi and Kai Yun. However, Yi Lu walked beside him like an adult. "Auntie Zizi, do you have any clues?" The four of them ate, drank, and had fun in the city. Yi Yan finally got to the point, but Yi Lu had already lost interest. It was better to go to the academy and cultivate. It was even more boring outside. Yi Zizi drank the cold black tea and said with a comfortable expression, "No." "Then how are we going to find them?" Yi Lu asked blankly. Auntie Zizi was still the same as before. She wasn't that reliable. Kai Yun put his palms together. Buddha-style searching. "Auntie Kai Yun is so awesome. We're going to have some fun." Yi Yan liked Kai Yun's attitude towards life. She did whatever she wanted to do and was not in a hurry at all. Unlike his own sister, who looked like she was in a hurry right now. Kai Yun stroked Yi Yan's head. "We'll just play happily." "Auntie Kai Yun is right," Yi Yan said with a chuckle. However, right at this moment, a series of hurried footsteps came over and surrounded the four of them. The four children stared blankly at these servants. They were dressed in gray robes and held long rods in their hands. They looked fierce and fiendish. At a glance, they could tell that they were servants who relied on their master's power. Excuse me, young Master Ding." A man dressed in luxurious clothing slowly walked over. "Wow, that is the richest man in our bright mist communal country. Ding Jun. Child Ding. That's right. Just look at the way he walks. You can tell that he has a mind at home. Child Ding is still very generous, okay?" "Indeed." The surrounding people discussed in low voices. The lackey standing beside Ding Jun shouted, "Today, young Master Ding will pay for the whole street." When this news was announced, the entire audience was in an uproar. Everyone cheered young Master Ding for being generous. When Ding Jun heard these cheers, he instantly felt as if he was floating. However, looking at those little guys in front of him, Ding Jun revealed out an evil smile. These little kids look really good. Especially that ponytail girl, she is simply so adorable. And that ice-cold girl, she will definitely become a goddess-like figure in the future. And that slightly older girl at the side, she is so innocent and romantic. As for the boy at the side, forget about it. I will beat him up and throw him out of the city later on. Who knows, he might be killed by a different race. The surrounding people seemed to have received hush money and began to act as if they didn't see anything. Yo, which family's young master is this? Yi Yan stood out confidently. The flute on his waist was very conspicuous, as expected of a boy who knows how to play the flute. It is able to blow people to death. Ding Jun touched his hair and said with an insolent look, "Those who give me face all call me young Master Ding. What a coincidence, most people call me Big Brother Yi." Although Yi Yan is small, that insolent aura of his is not familiar at all. How can this kind of small figure be dealt with by Aunt Zizi and Aunt Kaiyun? Huh, just you little guy. Ah. Tue. Ding Jun held a mouthful of phlegm and smeared it on the ground. The yellow phlegm is so disgusting. At the very least, Yi Zizi and the others were disgusted, wishing that they could just kick this man to death. You are truly too disgusting, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. Yi Yan frowned. I can tolerate anyone, but I can't tolerate people who are disgusting. Little sister, come and take care of this, big brother, I really can't stand this thick phlegm. Yi Lu immediately kicked him. You can't stand it, do you think I can? And you still call yourself big brother? When I go back this time, just watch how I complain to mother. Once you don't even take care of your little sister, everyone else will be a crazy protector of their little sister, and you will be the crazy protector of your little sister. Little brat. In this entire bright mist communal country, other than the deity institution which isn't mine, everything else is mine. Do you understand? What a coincidence. I'm a student of the deity institution. Do you know Sovereign Taiha? He's prepared to take me as his disciple, and I am currently considering whether or not I should accept him. Yi Yan stood with his hands behind his back, looking like he was soaked in sweat. Be more serious. Yi Lu really couldn't take it anymore. Can't you give your opponent some respect? Yi Yan knew what his little sister meant. He took out his flute and prepared to blow it. Meanwhile, Yi Lu covered her ears. When Ding Jun heard this, why did it sound so unpleasant to hear, you? Supreme Taiha will take in a child like you. Little fellow, you need strength to act cool too. Yi Yan and Yi Lu's news did spread in the deity institution, but outside, very few people knew about it. It was reasonable that Ding Jun didn't know them. When I, your big brother Yi, acted cool, you were still a mollusk. Everyone was confused. What was a mollusk? Even Yi Lu was confused. However, Yi Zizi and Kai Yun's faces sunk. As expected, Yi Yan became bad. He became an old driver. Although Ding Jun didn't know what Yi Yan was cursing about, looking at Yi Yan's appearance, he definitely didn't have good intentions. Little fellow, you are courting death. If I, young Master Ding, kill people here, even the deity institution won't dare to interfere. Young Master Ding, I advise you to look behind you before saying anything. Yi Yan smiled faintly. Ding Jun went into a daze. When he turned around, there was nothing at all. There was only a chill in his crotch. Big brother. What are you doing? Yi Lu protested coquettishly. She hurriedly turned around. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun didn't avoid it because they weren't human at all. End of this chapter. Chapter 1186. Little Pigeon. Yi Yan couldn't help but tease. Even smaller than my brother Yes. Ding Jun flew into a rage out of humiliation, pointing at Yi Yan and shouting, "Kill him for me. Kill!" The servants around him roared and cheered for themselves. However, at this moment, a few words floated down from the sky. Cut the water with a knife and the water will flow even more. Drink a cup to drown your worries even more. A figure landed in front of Yi Yan. He was skinny and wore a black bamboo hat. His entire face was covered by a black veil. However, judging from his physique, he should be a handsome guy. This man's voice was really pleasant to listen to. Coupled with that faint sadness, it could simply enchant young girls. This was a man who could recite poems. He was too attractive. That back view was really mesmerizing. Who are you? Ding Jun asked angrily. Famous people don't resort to insinuations. I'm a pig's liver. Yi Yan's little face was embarrassed after hearing this. What an outstanding man. My brother Yi likes men like you. Poser. Pig's liver. If you know what's good for you, then scram. Do you know where this is? This is me. Can you put on your pants first before saying such harsh words? The surrounding girls don't like to look at you. The pig liver centipede sighed softly. This was basically saying, this guy can't do it, I'll do it. Only then did Ding Jun realize that he was in a neutral position. He immediately pulled up his pants. Kill them. Wait. The pig liver centipede stretched out its palm and shouted. What are you doing? Tearful eyes look at flowers, flowers don't speak, red flies over the swing. Ding Jun was speechless. Yi Yan, everyone, Motherf asterisk Ker, just because they don't get along, they start spewing out poems. Kill him. I've never seen anyone so arrogant. Do it. Wait. The pig liver centipede shouted angrily, shocking everyone. Ding Jun was on the verge of despair. What the hell do you want? Zai Fei. Ding Jun couldn't take it anymore when he saw that pig liver hyena was about to burst out with poems again. Not only Ding Jun could not take it anymore, even Yi Yan could not take it anymore. Him blowing his flute alone was enough to make people feel despair. Who would have thought that this pig liver's recitation of a poem could make people go crazy? He had finally learned something today. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. The surrounding crowd cheered together. All of the servants could be seen running towards the pig liver meat, and then, we're all brothers, so don't be too harsh. After saying that, pig liver Denglong squatted down with his hands on his head. Bang bang bang, the scene was very messy. At the very least, Yi Yan and Yi Lu were very confused. Wasn't this guy here to save the damsel in distress? Why was it so miserable? He had thought that it was a king, but to his surprise, it was a bronze. The time taken to brew a cup of tea passed, the servants were already gasping for breath and stood away. The moon shines brightly in front of my bed, and I suspect it to be frost on the ground. Beat him to death for me. Beat him until he can't speak. Fight. Ding Jun was completely confused. If he could, he really wanted to cut his head open. Another 10 minutes passed. Geese geese geese, crooked neck towards the heavens song, PFFF, before he could finish shouting, he was punched. Young Master Ding, this brat is a little troublesome. We can't even beat him to death. One of the servants' hands were trembling, and the skin on his fists was broken. Ding Jun didn't know what to say now. Was this pig's liver unkillable? He actually stood up again. Right now, pig liver Denglong seemed to be so great. That majestic back view seemed to be blossoming with golden light. You are ruthless, brat. Ding Jun was convinced, I have never seen such a lowly person before. Ding Jun brought his people and left just like that. The speed at which he ran was very fast, as if he had seen a ghost. Pig liver Denglong coughed lightly and slowly turned around. At this moment, the world seemed to have become quiet. Quietly, I'm coming, quietly. I'm leaving again. Pig liver Denglong broke into a run. Yi Zizi shouted coldly, "Pig liver Denglong. Don't think that just because you became skinny, I won't recognize you. This voice of yours, even if you turn into ashes, I will still recognize you." Yi Zizi immediately disappeared from where she was, and Kai Yun did the same as well. Yi Yan and Yi Lu hurriedly blocked the way, and Pig Liver Denglong was surrounded by the four people. "I say. Pig Liver Denglong, at the very least saved your lives. Is this how you repay me?" Pig Liver Denglong said helplessly. Seeing that there were a lot of people around, Kai Yun hurriedly formed a hand seal, and the few people all disappeared, a few kilometers away from the city. Pig's liver meat. Yi Zizi shouted again. "Aunt Zizi, who is this?" Yi Yan asked curiously. Yi Lu seemed to have guessed it. She looked at Auntie Kai Yun and guessed it too. Kai Yun asked curiously, "Zizi, who is this?" Yi Lu. It seemed like he had still overestimated Auntie Kai Yun. Yi Zizi said in a low voice, "This is the famous envy." Yi Yan's and Kai Yun's little mouths had turned into an O shape. The pig liver worm sighed deeply. "Yi Zizi, I'm already in this state, yet you still recognize me. Hee, with your accent, do you think I can't recognize you?" Yi Zizi snorted coldly. The pig liver macaque took off its bamboo hat and finally revealed its face. Other than Yi Zizi, everyone else had a long face. This was truly a pig's head. Yi Yan was very puzzled. Why was it that his father's subordinates were all humans, but he was a pig? The pig liver mantis might be an exception, but this was its true form. It could switch between 2-drive mode or 4-drive mode at any time. However, just now, when the pig liver mantis was being beaten up by the group, it wasn't that it didn't want to fight back, but rather, it didn't move. This was also one of the pig liver mantis weaknesses. Because the pig liver mantis was the kind of person that would become stronger when encountering strong opponents. No, it should be said that once jealousy was born in its heart, it would erupt. The deeper the jealousy, the stronger the eruption of jealousy. However, when the pig liver mantis lost its jealousy, other than being unkillable, it didn't have the slightest bit of attack power, and it was no different from an ordinary pig. If one were to say who was the most abnormal person in the entire team, other than Ching Su, then it would be the pig liver mantis. When it got jealous, it wouldn't even know what its surname was. Pig liver mantis, your memory seems to be normal. Yi Zizi asked curiously. Of course, my memory is very good. Then why didn't you come back? I don't believe that you couldn't sense it. Yi Zizi questioned. The pig liver mantis straightforwardly sat on the ground. Big sister, I still want to play for a bit more. It isn't easy for me to be able to take a stroll outside, and I don't have to listen to His Honor's words. How happy I am. What you said is somewhat reasonable. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun nodded their heads, expressing that they agreed. Yi Zizi continued to ask, something isn't right. Why did you conceal your aura? Fuck, that fellow Wei Chong was fighting with earth-shattering power. He definitely encountered some trouble. I thought that His Honor would definitely come and look for me, so I concealed my aura. Even if I came, it would be useless. Isn't it enough for you two to be by His Honor's side? The pig liver mantis rubbed onto its pig nose and mumbled. End of this chapter. Chapter 1187. Yi Zizi didn't want to talk nonsense with Yi Zizi anymore. His Honor is summoning you now. That fellow Ching Su is already in a mess, and Wei Chong has also gone missing. What? The pig liver centipede's face sank as it cried out in alarm. You said Wei Chong is missing. The one who disappeared that day. How is that possible? The pig liver centipede knew Wei Chang's strength. How could he just disappear like that? Yi Zizi said solemnly, it's not just missing. It was very likely that he had already betrayed them. Doesn't His Honor know about your personality? That's why he sent me to look for you. The pig-liver hyena stood up and gazed at Yizizi. Smoke rises in the great desert, the sun sets in the long river. Speak human language. Yizizi clenched her small fist and said in a deep voice. Pig-liver Meng Meng swallowed his saliva and said, if his honor needs this subordinate, I will not hesitate to die 10,000 times. If I don't enter hell, who will? I have already decided to sacrifice myself for his honor. Do you want to play for a few more days before going back? Pig-liver nomaded. Everyone, at this time, Yilu asked seriously, Aunt Zizi, what happened to Uncle Wei? I also felt Uncle Wei's aura that day. Did Uncle Wei go missing? Why did you say that Uncle Wei betrayed us? Yilu raised his question. Yi Yan also put away his smile, appearing incomparably serious. Uncle Wei had gone missing and rebelled. How was this possible? How could Uncle Wei be such a person? Uncle Wei's loyalty to his father could be seen by the sun and moon. He would never do such a thing. Yizizi stroked Yilu's hair. Lu, study hard with Yen, We'll take care of the family. Don't worry. Yizizi had forgotten that they were present. These little fellows often played with Wei Chang when they were young. Their relationship with Wei Chang was also quite deep. Who are these two kids? The pig-liver macaque asked curiously. They are little sovereigns. Kai Yun added. He had originally thought that envy would give his all in a battle of life and death, but in the end, in just a day's time, this fellow had appeared on his own. Kai Yun suddenly recalled that this pig-liver centipede had probably done it on purpose. Given Yizizi's appearance, how could the pig-liver macaque not recognize her? She probably wanted to save face, so she used such a method to appear. Kai Yun's guess was correct. Pig-liver stew was like this. What? His honor's child. Isn't his honor a skeleton? Does it shoot the bone marrow? The pig-liver macaque was astonished. I completely don't understand what his honor is doing. The child is actually already so big, my god. Why doesn't he look like his honor at all? Shouldn't he be a little skeleton? At this time, Yi Yan said, Daddy is not a skeleton. Daddy is a human, okay? Uncle Pig, you are out. His honor has turned into a human. The pig-liver Denglong asked Yizizi in a low voice. Yizizi said in a low voice, that's right. Back then, when his honor was a skeleton, you were already jealous of him. Now that his honor has become a human, you will be even more jealous of him. Oh my god. Right now, I have the strength to fight against his honor. The pig-liver Leopardi actually had such a crazy thought. However, pig-liver Ting wasn't bragging. In the entire team, everyone would be able to fight against Yi Hua, but the probability of them losing would be very high. Only the pig-liver centipede, if it was envious enough, it would still be able to fight against Yi Hua. At the very least, it wouldn't lose so badly. With your current appearance, you still want to fight against his honor, TSK. Yizizi rolled her eyes and said. The pig-liver Leopardi carried on to Yi Yan, causing the latter to be startled. What are you doing? Quickly let go of me, my god, this is so scary. I want Daddy, little your honor, don't be afraid, Uncle Pig loves you. Yizizi said cautiously, alright, stop joking around, we have to hurry back. The pig-liver Leopardi placed Yi Yan down, little your honor, in the future, Uncle Pig will play with you. Right now, I have to go and help his honor work. After resting for more than 10 years, I have to work day and night again. Kai Yun said towards Yi Yan and Yi Lu, the two of you hurry back. And, we have to leave now. If his honor were to find out about this, he would definitely teach us a lesson. Yizizi warned. Yi Lu was still fine, it was just that Yi Yan was not obedient. Yi Yan nodded his head, Aunt Zizi, Aunt Kai-yun, Uncle Pig, you all can leave first, we will be returning to the academy in a while. All right. Yi Zizi nodded her head, and the three of them instantly disappeared from where they stood. Yi Yan let out a deep sigh. Little sister, will Uncle Wei really betray us? Do you believe it? I don't believe it. Then isn't it settled? Let's go back. But before we go back, we have to go and have a good chat with that young Master Ding. Yi Yan said with an evil smile on his face, and the two little fellows disappeared from where they stood. Within Wushu Empire, Yi Hua was sitting on the throne, and Donghuang Baizhi had also rarely appeared. The main reason was because she heard that Yi Hua's new subordinate had arrived. However, when she saw Yi Hua's subordinate, Donghuang Baizhi was also extremely astonished. Why is it a pig? Furthermore, it is such a skinny pig. It is definitely not full yet. Subordinate. Pig liver Leopardi pays his respect to his honor. His honor. Get up. Yi Hua said lightly. Even though it has been more than 10 years since he last saw Pig liver Leopardi, Yi Hua's mood was still so horrifying. However, when he saw that Pig liver Leopardi had returned, Yi Hua's mood became a bit better. Qing Su's escape and Wei Chang's betrayal had already caused Yi Hua to be deeply worried. Pig liver Leopardi's return was finally normal, and the sadness in Yi Hua's heart had lessened. I am very happy that you are able to return, but I am also very curious, how did you become so skinny? Pig liver Leopardi let out a light sigh. My worries are with the bright moon, following the wind till the west of the night. Yi Zizi and Kai-yun, who were at the side, the corner of Yi Hua's mouth twitched slightly. When did this fellow start reciting poems? Donghuang Baizhi had a whole new level of respect for Pig liver Leopardi. I didn't expect that under that appearance, he would have such literary talent. He should be the most knowledgeable man in the world. Good fellow. Pig liver Leopardi also secretly sized up your wife. As expected of his honor's woman, this appearance is top-notch. Speak human words. Yi Hua said in a low voice. To actually dare to act coquettishly in front of me, this is enough. Your honor, you should know of my weakness as well. If I am too fat and can't even fit into my clothes, how would I be able to live in the human world and experience the feeling of a human? Yi Hua didn't expect that Pig liver Leopardi would have such a realization. Curiously, he asked, what have you experienced? Other than love, I have experienced everything. Pig liver Leopardi said with an incomparably regretful tone. What brotherly love, after seeing my face, all of them will fall out with me. Of course, before seeing my face, we were still addressing each other as brothers. Donghuang Baizhi thought to herself, this Pig liver Leopardi, seems like he wants Yi Hua to be the matchmaker for him. However, this face of his is probably a bit scarier than Blue Sky Hong. Yi Hua laughed lightly, then said gravely, Wei Chang has already betrayed us. End of this chapter. Chapter 1188. The faces of the three subordinates darkened. Yi Zizi asked gravely, Your Honor, did Wei Chang really betray us? That's right, I saw it with my own eyes, and I even injured Brett. Yi Hua said coldly, and his eyes were emitting out coldness. To be honest, the pig liver centipede had not seen Wei Chang for more than 10 years. Its memory of Wei Chang was still from a long time ago. That brainless but very loyal man, but Kai-yun understood Wei Chang a little, but now that Wei Chang had betrayed him, it was very hard for him to accept it. That man actually rebelled. I really don't understand. Why did you betray his honor? Did the other party offer a higher price? Anyway, he just couldn't figure it out. Yi Hua said gravely, I'm afraid that Wei Chang has already gone to another place. Therefore, the current strategic deployment is on Qing Su. This fellow kidnapped Wei Chang's underling, and I reckon that Wei Chang's life is not in danger for the time being. However, we can't just sit here and do nothing. Your Honor, are we going to look for Ching Su first? Yi Zizi asked curiously. There's no need for that. White Bones is already looking for him. You all stand by and let me think about it. Oh right, let's get together tonight. Yi Hua said lightly. After all, the return of the pig liver centipede could still be celebrated, and it would also be good to sweep away the bad luck. Yes. Your subordinates will take their leave. Everyone respectfully shouted and left. After his subordinates left, Yi Hua pressed onto his forehead. He was still a bit gloomy, and no matter how hard he tried, he wasn't able to feel happy. Dong Wang Baiji arrived behind Yi Hua and said softly, Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? I'm a little tired. Yi Hua said lightly. Right now, I am starting to miss my life at the bar. Opening a bar and whatnot, watching cartoons and chatting with the aunties at the entrance. Sigh, how about going out to relax? I'll accompany you. Dong Huang Baiji said lightly. I'm not in the mood to relax. Yi Hua said faintly. You can't continue on like this, I'm afraid that you might get depressed. Dong Huang Baiji teased. After hearing that, Yi Hua laughed. It is fortunate that they left you behind. If not, there wouldn't be anyone who would dare to console me. Yeah, everyone else is scared to death of you. I treat you so well, but you still bully me. Baiji, help me relieve my boredom. Go to hell, it's broad daylight, Dong Huang Baiji said petulantly. It's not like I haven't tried it before in broad daylight, let's go, if not, I'm going to get depressed. You. I really admire you. Dong Huang Baiji was very helpless and could only accompany Yi Hua to relieve his boredom. In the bedroom. Dong Huang Baiji said coyly, Yi Hua. We can't retreat. Why can't I retreat? I want to retreat. This won't do. We can only press forward. Who said there's a rule? I can even do an S shape. You. I'm not playing with you anymore. Okay. I'll hold on, okay? General. You lost. Dong Huang Baiji immediately clapped her hands happily. Looking at the chess set in front of him, Yi Hua's face sunk. In the future, I will set the rules. Alright, you are the boss, I will listen to everything you say. Dong Huang Baiji said with a light smile. Sometimes, Yi Hua is just like a child. It's getting late. Aren't you having a celebration party? It's about time for us to arrive. Don't put on a stern face tonight, be a bit more cheerful, drink some wine, and brag and whatnot. Dong Huang Baiji said tenderly. Dong Huang Baiji felt very sorry for Yi Hua. Yi Hua nodded his head, then brought Dong Huang Baiji to attend the banquet. Meanwhile, in the banquet hall, all of Yi Hua's subordinates were present. Of course, other than Wei Chang and Lai Gu, Do Fushi and White Bones were also present. Zhu Tian and Brett were also present. Zhu Tian was still in his cat form, while Brett only had external injuries, which healed in a short while. However, Zhu Tian still seemed a bit weak. The pig liver macaque was very curious. Why does His Honor have so many subordinates? Furthermore, there are so many beauties. Did His Honor arrange this gathering because he knew that I was coming back? His Honor truly understands me too well. However, everyone was also looking at the pig liver macaque suspiciously. Who is this? It can't be that he is His Honor's new underling, right? Why does he look like this? Looking at the pig liver macaque, Zhang Konghong felt a bit of relief in his heart. Finally, I am not the ugliest man. At the very least, I still have a human face. I am truly fortunate. The pig liver macaque was sizing up everyone, and suddenly, it saw a beautiful figure. This caused the pig liver macaque's heart to tremble. Wow! What a weak girl, isn't this the girl that I, the pig liver macaque, am protecting? Look at that expression, she is simply like a fairy. Such a girl actually doesn't have a man by her side. My chance is here. Pig liver roast. Absolute Heaven cried out in surprise. Looking at Absolute Heaven and Brett, Pig Liver Mantis was stunned for a moment. Big Tabby Cat. How did you end up like this? Ju Tian, damn it, it's still the same as before. Why did you come back? Brett asked calmly. You Canon woman, it was naturally his honor who called me back. I heard that you were. Just as Pig Liver Mantis was about to speak, Absolute Heaven swung his tail, smacking Pig Liver Mantis's face. The Pig Liver Macaque was shocked and almost spilled the beans. But this big tabby cat is really too much of a bully. I will not be jealous of you. Brett hugged Absolute Heaven, causing Pig Liver Centipede to be dumbfounded. What was going on? Had Brett embraced the heavens? Did the sun rise from the west? Just look at Absolute Heaven, rubbing against me with all his might, he's practically exactly the same as me. Their relationship wasn't very good in the past. How did it become like this today? What are you looking at? This is my husband. Brett snorted. Pig Liver's jaw almost dropped to the ground. He couldn't help but moan. Absolute Heaven. Have you gone mad? You actually dare to go up to this kind of woman? Pig Liver Centipede said in a low voice. Brett's beautiful eyes turned cold. Scram. I like her, it's so comfortable, bite me. Absolute Heaven actually knows how to show off now, causing Pig Liver Centipede to be dumbfounded. This cat is fake, right? Hearing what Pig Liver Centipede said, Brett's face became slightly red. She pinched onto the cat's flesh, causing Absolute Heaven's fur to stand up from the pain. Hee hee, acting cool. Pig Liver Centipede pouted his mouth. This is clearly going to be beaten to a pulp by Brett. This idiot, this kind of woman still dares to go up to me, just wait to be destroyed. Look at that soft and weak girl, that is what a woman should be. Absolute Heaven, I have something to ask you. Pig Liver Centipede said sneakily. Absolute Heaven said snappily, what is it? Do you see that girl? Absolute Heaven looked over, and discovered that what Pig Liver Centipede said was actually my you. Absolute Heaven was also startled. What do you want to do? Absolute Heaven had a bad premonition. Introduce me to her. Pig Liver Centipede's eyebrows twitched. Sorry. I don't have eyebrows. Brett immediately shouted out, you come over for a moment. Absolute Heaven and Dongfang Yu were quarreling, and that was why Dongfang Yu was so far away from them. However, hearing Brett calling out to her, Dongfang Yu still walked over. End of chapter. Chapter 1189. Pig Liver Macaque feels that this name is very nice. She was too compatible with this person. It was as if he would protect her forever. Sister, what's the matter? Dongfang Yu asked in a low voice. Brett said softly, he wants to get to know you. Introduce yourself. Oh. Dongfang Yu didn't know what was going on and said to the Pig Liver Macaque, hello, I am Ju Tian's wife, my name is Dongfang Yu nice to meet you. When Pig Liver Macaque heard that greeting, his pig head became crooked from happiness. But when he heard the last sentence, his pig face trembled. What? Such a woman was actually the big tabby cat's wife. Didn't this cat not like women? Back then, he even said that women were dirty. Was it fragrant now? Was everything he said in the past all bullsh*t? He even said he was a germaphobe. Germaphobe your sister. Pig trotters. The pig liver macaque was speechless. She was someone else's wife. Was he going to snatch her away? What a disappointment. This kind of exquisite woman is actually following absolute heaven, this cat. Just that little needle of his, tsk tsk tsk, would other people feel anything? Such a waste of such a beauty. What a pain in the ass. Have you thought it through? Absolute heaven asked calmly. Dongfang Yuer said in a low voice, I want to go. Go back and face the wall. Absolute heaven said in a deep voice. The pig liver macaque at the side was stunned. Damn. This kind of woman is meant to be protected, and you actually yelled at her. Was he still a man? Absolute heaven. How can you yell at others like this? This is not pleasing to the eye. The pig liver host stood in front of Dongfang Yu, looking like he was going to meddle in her affairs. Zhu Tian said in a low voice, Pig liver, I'm disciplining my wife, what does it have to do with you? Originally, I didn't want to interfere, but I just can't watch you bully others. That's why I'm taking care of it. The pig liver mane snorted coldly. Originally, it was you, absolute heaven, who forcefully seized it. Then I, the pig liver mane, will definitely not sit idly by. The atmosphere at the scene was a little heavy. Dongfang Yuan said softly, Thank you for your good intentions, I am Zhu Tian's wife, I should listen to him. Dongfang Yuan was very serious, and she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. However, there is a bit of a problem with her tone. Those who are familiar with her would know, while those who are not familiar with her would think that. Dongfang Yuan spoke very helplessly, but there is no one who can help her. Pig liver centipede felt this way. Sister Yu don't panic. If you have any grievances, just say it. I will stand up for you. Big tabby cat. Don't think that I'm afraid of you. Speaking of grievances, Dongfang Yuan had indeed been feeling very wronged recently. She wanted to help Absolute Heaven, but Absolute Heaven did not support her. Instead, he scolded her and even locked her in a room. If she dared to run away, he would beat her up. That was why Dongfang Yuan choked with sobs. Everyone was shocked to see Dongfang Yuan crying. Could it be that Absolute Heaven was abusing others? Otherwise, how could it be like this? Hearing the choking sounds coming from behind him, Pig Liver Centipede said angrily, Absolute Heaven. You still dare to say that you didn't bully him? Sister Yu don't cry anymore. You should leave such a person. I say, Pig Liver. Are you crazy? You don't need to worry about my wife. Zhu Tian revealed his cat claws, looking as if he was going to claw you. However, right at this moment, when the pig liver macaque saw his honor, it shouted out loudly, His honor, quickly come over. Zhu Tian is already unable to continue with domestic violence against his wife, he wants to divorce his wife. Everyone, this pig liver is also not a good person. He actually wants someone to divorce. This is simply outrageous. Yi Juetian, who walked in, was a little confused. Who was this, to actually treat him as a big brother? Your Honor, there is a grievance here, we have to deal with it impartially. Pig Liver Dang was very anxious. It would be best if I can get them to divorce, that way, I will have a chance. Brett reminded, Pig Liver Macaque, that is his Honor's blood-related younger brother. What? Even his Honor has a blood-related younger brother. The Pig Liver Leopardi had a look of astonishment on his face. This is too much nonsense. His Honor is a skeleton, why is this younger brother of his not a skeleton, and furthermore, he looks so similar to a skeleton. It was too amazing. It turned out that the undead had brothers too. However, after his Honor turns into a human, he is indeed very handsome, causing me, the pig liver, to feel very jealous. What are you making a fuss about? A cold voice rang out. The subordinates didn't dare to be disrespectful, and they respectfully shouted out, "Subordinate pays respect to your honor. Your honorable wife. Your honor, your madam, many blessings." Yihua and Dong Huang Baiji appeared, and just when they arrived, they heard the quarreling sounds. Yihua said lightly, "Everyone, this is my subordinate, his name is Pig Liver Dang. Everyone, in the future, you should walk around more often." How would Yi Hong and LV Shu dare to walk around more often? This is simply like the neighbor next door. If we walk around more often, our wives will be stolen away from us. Look, he has already taken a fancy to Zhu Tian's wife. Yes, Your Honor. The subordinate still agreed to Zhu Tian's proposal. Yihua nodded his head in satisfaction, then asked, "Pig liver macaque, what were you blabbering about just now?" "Your Honor. Zhu Tian is going to divorce you, Everyone, you are making things that didn't even exist seem to be the truth now." Chapter 1190. Yihua raised his wine cup and said gravely, "Recently, the group has been a bit depressed. Tonight, let's play. After a few more days. Those who are going to train their bodies. We are going to set off soon. Your Honor, subordinate has something to report." Zhu Tian stood up and said gravely. "What is it?" "Dongfang Yuan is withdrawing from the training this time." Zhu Tian said respectfully. "No." Dongfang Yuan, who was sitting at the side, immediately said firmly. Pig liver macaque didn't say anything. Yihua slightly wrinkled his brows. "Have the two of you finished discussing it?" "We have, you won't be going." As the head of a family, Zhu Tian had the right to speak. However, this time, Dongfang Yuan didn't seem to be so easy to deal with. "No, Your Honor, I want to go," Dongfang Yuan said lightly. Her tone was clearly firm, but Dongfang Yuan said it to be soft. Zhu Tian looked at Dongfang Yuan and said lightly, "You don't mess around. Be obedient." "No. You. Do you believe that I won't slap you?" Zhu Tian raised his little paw and threatened. Pig liver macaque shouted out, "Your Honor. Look at Zhu Tian. Everyone, quickly look, little sister Yu is simply living in an abyss of suffering." Everyone, Dongfang Yuan lowered her head and even slightly closed her eyes, enduring Zhu Tian's slap. Brett, who was at the side, couldn't bear it anymore. "Zhu Tian, what are you doing? You are even hitting her." Zhu Tian was also angered just now. Dongfang Yuan had always been obedient, and for her to suddenly resist, Zhu Tian wasn't used to it. "Since little sister Yu wants to go, then let her go. What's the point of you stopping her?" Brett said a sentence of fairness. Dongfang Yuan looked towards Brett with a grateful expression. "Finally, someone is speaking up for me. Brett, you." Zhu Tian felt a bit uncomfortable. Are these women going to rebel? Yihua took a deep breath and said faintly, "Everyone has the right to make their own decisions. Yu is not your slave, she has her own choice, even if she can't come back this time. Thank Your Honor for understanding Yu Dongfang Yuan said with a smile. Absolute heaven shut himself off. Wasn't I doing this for your own good? Alright, this matter shall end here. Today, there isn't any difference between a superior and a subordinate, ha. Yihua shouted out and took the lead to gulp down a mouthful of wine. Everyone present was a hero. Regardless of whether they were men or women, whether they were human or not, all of them were speechless. Slowly, the atmosphere began to become lively. It was a pity that Lai Gu wasn't here, if not, Yihua would definitely be ridiculed. Only this fellow, Lai Gu, dares to tease his honor, the others are still rather steady. Your Honor, to be honest, they are really going to split up. The pig liver macaque said drunkenly. Absolute Heaven was also a little drunk. He immediately heard Pig Liver Lizard's words. Pig Liver Lizard. What do you mean? Are you trying to poach him? A straightforward person doesn't resort to insinuations. I like your wife. Pig Liver Danglong stood up and shouted. The scene became quiet. Then, he began to brag again. There had been cases of people causing trouble after drinking before. Pig's liver. Believe it or not, I'll beat you until you can't take care of yourself. Yo ho. I don't believe it. Let's make a bet. What kind of bet? If I win, give me you heir. If I lose, my life is yours. Pig Liver Ho's heroic spirit soared to the sky. At this time, he was especially serious. Everyone quieted down. Zhu Tian was stunned for a moment before he said in a cold voice, Good. I'm going to take your dog life. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. The two of them were serious. Brett grabbed Absolute Heaven by the back of his neck. Is there something wrong with you? I bet on my wife. Dongfang Yuer bit her lips as her beautiful eyes became watery. How pitiful, she was used by Absolute Heaven to gamble. Pig Liver Dandelion hurriedly said towards Yihua, Your Honor. You heard it just now. I, Absolute Heaven, have already agreed to it. As one of the 7 deadly sins. If word of this gets out, even Ten Kun can chase after him. And everyone heard it. Everyone immediately turned around and drank, as if it was none of their business. Even Yihua was astonished. Dong Huang Baiji, who was at the side, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. These people. After drinking, they don't even know what their surnames are anymore. Sure. Whoever was a coward was a grandson. I won't kill you. You've been staring at my wife since you came in. MD. It's all because of you. Absolute Heaven became angry. This fellow has clearly taken a fancy to you, All right. Let's go out and do it right now. Pig Liver Dandelion's face turned red. All right. Brett slapped onto Absolute Heaven's head, idiot. You are still a cat. After being slapped, Absolute Heaven seemed to have sobered up a lot. Where am I? What did I say just now? What's the matter? Say something. Don't you dare to any more. Pig Liver Dandelion said aggressively, not giving in at all. Absolute Heaven looked towards His Honor, saying, Your Honor, please say something, I was just speaking nonsense just now. Absolute Heaven then looked towards Dongfang Yuer and discovered that Dongfang Yuer was feeling very uncomfortable. Absolute Heaven rubbed onto Dongfang Yuer's hand, expressing that he was drunk just now and didn't have the intention to gamble with Absolute Heaven. This was the first time Dongfang Yuer saw Absolute Heaven acting coquettishly. Even if you beat me to death just now, I would still be angry, the kind that can't be coaxed. Yihua said in a low voice, All right, this is all nonsense after drinking, forget it. Pig Liver Dandelion, sit down. Absolute Heaven, you coward. Pig Liver Dandelion stretched out both of his hands and flicked his middle finger at Absolute Heaven. This angered Absolute Heaven. Fine. When I recover, I will take your life. I was just waiting for you to say this. Pig Liver Dandelion snorted coldly. All right. Are you two done arguing? Are the two of you sick? Yihua shouted out, and only then did the two of them calm down. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun, who were sitting at the side, shook their heads. These two idiots. Originally, I thought that after Pig Liver Dandelion came back, it would be a bit quieter, but I didn't expect that the moment this fellow came back, he would cause trouble. He actually took a fancy to Absolute Heaven's youth. My God. And he even wanted to gamble his life with absolute heaven. He is sick, he is very sick. Afterward, the atmosphere became a bit quiet. Drinking without an atmosphere is a very awkward thing. Thus, Yihua didn't plan to continue drinking anymore. Alright, let's stop here for today. Everyone, disperse. Yihua said gravely. His mood was bad again. Also, if the two of you were to act recklessly, you will have to bear the consequences. Everyone who wants to go and train their bodies. Since you have already signed up. All of you, go. I have given you two a chance. Now, I am not giving you two a chance anymore. Whether you two will live or die will be up to your luck. Yihua said coldly. However, right at this moment, Sun Fang saw that Death Mage was acting a bit strangely. What's wrong? Sun Fang asked concernedly. GGG, Imperial Translation, Master is calling me. Red light could be seen emitting out from Death Mage's eyes as he suddenly stood up, giving everyone a fright. End of this chapter. Chapter 1191. Yihua looked at Death Mage with his brows tightly knitted. Your Honor, everyone, this atmosphere is really good. Death Mage could be heard speaking in human language. Everyone was shocked speechless. This is still Wei Chang's voice. The one who was the most shocked was Tang Wei. How could I not know Wei Chang's voice? But, Uncle Wei's voice, why did it become so frivolous, and even very evil? Tang Wei, who was originally going to be happy, felt that things weren't that simple. Yihua's face did not have any fluctuation. If I were to have any expression on my face right now, I would be giving the enemy a chance to laugh at me. LV Liang and Yi Hong were also incomparably shocked. This is really Uncle Wei's voice, it feels like he is a villain. Didn't Uncle Wei go missing? Why did he let Mage Brother Death Mage come and pass on my message? Your Honor, subordinate hasn't even returned yet, and you are already having a celebration. Death Mage spoke in human language with a strange tone, causing everyone's hair to stand on end. So it is Pig-Livered Denglong who has returned. No wonder Your Honor is in such a good mood today. Other than a few important people who knew that Wei Chang had rebelled, the others actually didn't know about it. Therefore, towards Wei Chang's strange words, everyone was very surprised. Uncle Wei, how can you use this kind of tone to speak to His Honor? Where are you? Tang Wei couldn't help but shout out. If His Honor gets angry, you will have to beg for forgiveness again. Death Mage looked towards Tang Wei and opened his mouth, seemingly as if he was smiling. Xiao Tang, it has been many days since we last met, you have become a bit skinny. Wei Chang said lightly, but no one could hear the concern in his tone. Uncle Wei, just what are you trying to do? Don't use this kind of tone to speak to me anymore, if not, His Honor will really get angry. Let him be angry then. Wei Chang said gravely. Everyone took in a breath of cold air. Wei Chang actually addressed His Honor as him. This is a huge disrespect towards His Honor. Furthermore, from what Wei Chang said, everyone could tell that Wei Chang might have already. The people who had a good relationship with Wei Chang were immediately confused. Why would Uncle Wei be like this? Tang Wei's face was pale, and she was on the verge of collapsing. If not for Li Hun supporting her, she might have already fainted. Pig-Livered Denglong sneered, Wei Chang, I didn't expect that after not seeing you for more than 10 years, you have already changed. Today, you have made me feel that you are very interesting. Pig liver, people change. This is the human nature that I've learned. Your Honor, am I right? A faint killing intent emerged from the pig liver macaque, Wei Chang. Don't let me see you, or you'll die. Pig liver meat, I am looking forward to that day, don't you think so, Your Honor? Yihua said faintly, Wei Chang, properly cherish the time that you have left, because there isn't much time left. Your Honor, your method of threatening others is still as lowly as always. I'm much better now. Because I'm going to kill you. Wei Chang said with a cold intent. The temperature of the whole room seemed to have dropped. When Tang Wei heard these words, she felt as if she was struck by lightning, and her head was buzzing. Uncle Wei, what's wrong with you? That's definitely not what you want. Tang Wei said in disbelief. She was completely unable to accept such a thing. Back then, she had followed Uncle Wei because she saw that Uncle Wei was an honest person. After so many years, Uncle Wei had taken good care of her. Uncle Wei is definitely a super good husband. Other than not being able to satisfy you, Uncle Wei is able to satisfy everything else. Wei Chang turned his head and looked towards Tang Wei, then said lightly, Xiao Tang, you are still innocent right now, you should find someone else. Hearing these words, Tang Wei didn't dare to believe it. Even everyone was unable to believe it. Could it be that the reason why Wei Chang didn't touch Tang Wei all this while was because he knew that I was going to betray him? If that's the case, everything would make sense. Wei Chang's betrayal wasn't just a spur of the moment, he had been thinking about it for a long time. Even Dong Huang Baiji felt the same way. In the past, Tang Wei would always come and find me for a chat, but from the looks of it now, in actuality, Yihua also didn't expect that things would actually turn out like this. However, the truth was right in front of my eyes. A betrayal is a betrayal, there's nothing much to say. Tang Wei couldn't take the blow anymore and fainted. Her head felt like it was going to split open. Words like heart-tearing and lung-splitting were no longer enough to describe what Tang Wei was feeling right now. Wei Chang let out a light sigh. Women are always so sentimental, why can't they just part on good terms? You can scram now. Yihua said coldly. Of course I will, but I have to bring my underlings away. I am a bit lacking in manpower right now. Wei Chang said lightly. The meaning behind his words was that he was going to bring Death Mage away. This caused everyone's expression to darken. Sun Fang immediately shouted out, Wei Chang. You dare. Sun Fang, he is my underling. To put it bluntly, he is just a skeleton that I summoned. Even if he dies, I can still continue to summon him out. Wei Chang. Sun Fang shouted out angrily. Death Mage bowed towards everyone, GGG, Imperial Translation, I'm sorry, everyone. After finished speaking, Death Mage disappeared from where he was. Sun Fang wanted to hug onto Death Mage, but in the end, she only managed to grab onto air. At this moment, the air froze, and no one said anything. Only a faint sobbing sound could be heard. The sobbing sound came from Sun Fang, and Tang Wei immediately fainted. Yi Hong and LV Liang didn't know what to say, and the image of Uncle Wei in the past kept replaying in their minds. That Uncle Wei was so amiable, even if you did something wrong, he would still come and console you and enlighten you. However, what happened just now? LV Liang and Yi Hong were unable to understand. They were completely unable to understand. Yihua said gravely, it is just like what everyone has seen. Wei Chang has already betrayed everyone. After finished speaking, Yihua disappeared from where he was. I didn't expect that Wei Chang would even want to bring Death Mage away. I reckon that Yihua just wanted to use Death Mage to satisfy his craving for words. Seeing that Yihua had left, Donghuang Baiji followed after him. Yihua still has to watch over Death Mage properly. If not, what should I do if he takes things too hard? After Yihua left, all of the subordinates became lifeless and lifeless. Something like betrayal would only cause the morale of everyone to become low. Furthermore, the one who betrayed was Wei Chang, and Death Mage was gone as well. A strange atmosphere pervaded the entire team. Everyone didn't leave, they just sat there quietly and accepted this fact. However, in the southern region, a bonfire was lit on the vast and empty yellow sand, and a few people were surrounding the bonfire and enjoying their dry rations. These people were naturally Long Outyen and the others. After coming out, Long Outyen had always been on Long Outyen's back, because he heard that there was a place called Wushu Empire in the north, and that place seemed to be very safe. Therefore, he wanted to go over and take a look. However, that place was very far away, and if he were to walk with his child, it would probably take him a few years, or even more than 10 years. That place was too far away. Are we really going to Wushu Empire? Jiu Yi asked gravely. Long Outyen saw that Jiu Yi's expression was a bit strange, so he asked curiously, Jiu Yi, what are you doing? I'm sweeping the tombs during the Qingming festival, that's why I'm late. End of this chapter. Chapter 1192. Jiu Yi was also starting to panic in his heart. When I heard the name Voidless Realm, Jiu Yi felt that. Voidless Realm is very similar to Voidless Realm. Is this related to that Voidless Realm or not? This was what Lord Jiu was worried about. Lord Jiu said in a low voice, let's take a look first. If it's safe, we'll stay here. Chaos is the root of a fallen leaf. That's the only way. What do you think, Meng Meng? Outyen, you can make the decision. The child and I will follow you. Meng Meng was still as considerate and gentle as before. At the very least, Lord Jiu was very envious of Long Outyen for having a woman like Meng Meng. However, when Lord Jiu looked at his grandson beside him, he couldn't help but ask in a low voice, when do you plan to cure him? It's not a good idea to drag on like this. Lord Jiu, don't worry. I've been practicing a new acupuncture technique recently. I've improved it, and I'll be able to start in a few days. The corner of Lord Jiu's mouth twitched. You're treating someone else as a test subject. It just so happens that there's one, and you can test it out. In any case, he had been calling her father for a few months. There should be some feelings. Long Outyen looked at Lord Jiu's disdainful gaze and asked curiously, Lord Jiu, what's with that look? Can't you understand the look in my eyes? Yes, please tell me, Ninth Master. I'm convinced. Jiu Yi turned his body slightly, and the only thing that was missing was cupping his hands. Long Outyen said attentively, Lord Jiu, don't worry. This is a top-notch mantra. It won't kill you. You can be my grandfather for a while longer. Lord Jiu, Xiao Bao, who was lying at the side, scratched his head and then lay down to sleep. As usual, Death Assassin was meditating. Suddenly, it heard a summons from its master. This made Death Assassin very happy, Master still remembers me. Hearing the order passed down by its master, Death Assassin naturally had to respond respectfully. Seems like it's time for me to leave. Of course, Long Outyen realized that his master was behaving strangely just now. He seemed to be very happy. If being happy was considered an anomaly. Death Assassin could be seen making hand gestures, causing Ping Luoling to become silent. Even Jiu Yi was able to make out a few words. Leaving? What was going on? Meng Meng seemed to be even more anxious. She shouted in a sweet voice, why do you suddenly want to leave? Death Mage continued making hand gestures. Seeing this, Meng Meng fell silent. Even Long Outyen was speechless. How could he not go when his master summoned him? Everyone fell into a state of reluctance. Long Yang seemed to have understood as well. Standing beside Death Assassin, he slightly raised his head and held on to those eerie white bones. Great Master, please don't leave. Long Yang said pitifully, he hoped that he would be able to get Death Assassin out by acting like a spoiled child. However, Death Assassin had no choice but to leave this place and continue signing. I'm sorry, everyone. I'll be leaving first. Death Assassin made a gesture with an apologetic expression. In actuality, the biggest gain from this mission was probably to bump into Long Outyen. Originally, he was just monitoring Long Outyen, but he did not expect that it would become like this. Long Outyen knew that he wouldn't be able to make him stay today. He stood up and said respectfully, "Master, I've learned a lot of things from you." "Thank you." Death Assassin made sign language and told Long Outyen that they would naturally be able to meet each other in the future. Stretching out his hand, he touched Long Yang, who was reluctant to part with him, then patted Meng Meng's shoulder. This couple had accompanied him during his most boring time. Right now, Master finally remembered me. A black whirlpool appeared at the side, and Death Assassin turned around and walked towards the whirlpool. "Master!" Long Outyen shouted out. Death Assassin stopped his footsteps, and Long Outyen knelt on the ground and said, "Master, please accept disciples 3 kowtows." Jiu Yi looked at Long Outyen and discovered that Long Outyen had truly changed. If this continues, Long Outyen would definitely be able to become someone outstanding in the future. It is just a matter of time. After the 3 kowtows ended, Long Outyen said lightly, "Master, don't worry, disciple will not embarrass you." Death Assassin was very gratified. He no longer hesitated and stepped into the whirlpool, and the whirlpool disappeared. After Death Assassin disappeared, everyone was very depressed. "Outyen!" Meng Meng called out in a low voice. "Mom!" Long Yang hugged onto his mother's leg and cried loudly. And when Chu Yuxuan, who was at the side, saw that his little brother was crying and was still hugging onto his mother, he opened up his arms and rushed over. Long Outyen's expression sunk, and he immediately moved over to block Long Outyen. "Daddy, Long Outyen, what kind of sin did I commit?" "Outyen!" Jiu Yi knew of Death Assassin's strength, and right now that Death Assassin suddenly left, the entire team's backing immediately disappeared. Long Outyen knew what Jiu Yi wanted to say. "Jiu Yi, let's head to the north, to Wushu Empire." Long Outyen decided to head to that Wushu Empire. Jiu Yi was originally considering, but following Death Assassin's departure, he could only head there. Right now, he still has to find a safe location. There are still people chasing after us, we can't afford to get injured. Long Outyen carried Meng Meng in his embrace and said lightly, "Everyone, rest well for tonight, we will set off tomorrow." After finished speaking, Long Outyen raised his head and looked towards the sky. "The moon is very round, but I heard that there is no moon in the north, and there is only snow. Seems like I have to prepare something to resist the cold. I wonder if I will be able to smoothly walk into Wushu Empire." Right now, within Wushu Empire, Yi Juetian once again arrived at the prison. Gong Yu sat cross-legged. Although she wasn't cultivating, she was still cultivating her nature, allowing her soul to obtain a kind of sublimation. Hearing the slight footsteps, Gong Yu knew that Zhu Tian had arrived, and with a joyful look on her face, she stood up. "Zhu Tian." Her voice was very sweet, and it was so sweet that it could make one's stomach feel sweet. Yi Juetian walked to the side of the iron bars, then said with a slight smile, "How have you been these few days? There aren't any bugs here, right?" "And, there aren't any." "Zhu Tian, you don't have to worry, this place is just a bit dark, but there isn't any strange smell. The food here is also good, and it is also very quiet. I was able to properly reflect on my own actions," Gong Yu said with a gentle smile. However, when Yi Juetian looked at Gong Yu, who was in front of him, he really wanted to make himself like her, but no matter what, he just couldn't. "Zhu Tian, what's wrong?" Gong Yu saw that Yi Juetian's expression was a bit strange, so she asked curiously. "Gong Yu, I might have to go out for a period of time." "Oh, for how long?" "It won't be a problem for a few years, I will just wait here for you to come back." Gong Yu revealed out a gentle smile, as if saying, "You don't have to worry about me." Yi Juetian lowered his head, then looked towards Gong Yu. "This time, I am going to train, and the danger is very high. Train. Very high. Why? Gong Yu didn't understand, and asked with doubt. I am too weak. I want to improve myself, make myself stronger, and protect the people around me. If anything happens to Yi, this jade fragment will shatter. At that time, you can go and save her. Yi Juetian stretched out his hand to receive the broken jade and said gratefully, Big brother, thank you. Patting onto Yi Juetian's shoulder, Yi Hua said lightly, You will always be my blood-related younger brother. Big brother, if something happens to me, can you let Gong Yu go? Let her go. All right. Yi Juetian didn't expect that his big brother would actually agree so readily. Thank you, big brother. Yi Juetian hugged onto Yi Hua. With a trace of a smile on his face, Yi Hua patted on his little brother's back. You have to be careful, mother and big brother are waiting for you to come back. Yes, I will definitely come back. Of course, big brother believes in you. At this moment, the relationship between the two brothers improved by quite a bit. To be honest, Yi Hua didn't really want his little brother to take the risk. If he didn't interfere, it would indeed be very dangerous. However, if he interfered, it would be meaningless. It would be better for him to just stay here and play. In the end, men have to grow up, and children have to be let go. Time passed by very quickly, and in the blink of an eye, it was time for everyone to set off. During these few days, the team was very quiet. Those who were going to leave were all cherishing and accompanying the team. Who knows if they would be able to come back alive or not. Early in the morning, the wind was gentle and the sun was bright. This was only Wushu Empire, and the cold wind was still howling outside. Within the palace. Today, Yi Hua was also dressed neatly, and Dong Huang Baiji was also dressed neatly. The atmosphere was a bit heavy. Dong Fang Yu appeared today, and Zhu Tian seemed to still be unable to endure it. However, his gaze was also filled with worry. During these few days, Pig Liver Macaque had been very obedient and didn't go and cause trouble. Pig Liver Macaque knew that his honor's mood wasn't good, and thus, he wouldn't cause trouble for this kind of thing. When his honor calms down, it will be time for me to cause trouble. Tang Wei seemed to have become even more resolute. Only by obtaining powerful strength will I be able to find out why Wei Chang betrayed us. It is impossible for Uncle Wei to be sentenced to death. When the time comes, I must definitely find Uncle Wei and ask him. If Uncle Wei really betrayed us, then I will have the strength to fight against Uncle Wei. Of course, this is the worst-case scenario. Yi Hua slowly stood up and said to everyone, all good things must come to an end, I will respect your decision. I hope that you all can defeat yourselves. Defeat your opponents. Come back with glory and glory. I will hold a welcoming dinner for all of you. Your honor. Everyone shouted out respectfully. Yi Hua let out a breath, have you all brought the things? We are all prepared. The people who were about to set off shouted out. Yi Hua nodded his hand, then flicked his finger. A white whirlpool appeared beside him, and from within the whirlpool, one could see that it was a beautiful world. However, do not be fooled by the appearance of the world. The more beautiful something is, the more dangerous it is. To Ye Hua and Seven Sins, the inside of the whirlpool was a playground, but to them, the inside of the whirlpool was hell. If you have anything to say, just say it now. Yi Hua said gravely. It seemed like absolute heaven wanted to entrust Dong Fang Yu with this task. However, it seemed like he could not let go of his face. In the end, it was Brett who went to advise Dong Fang Yu. LV Liang hugged his wife, and Yi Hong also hugged Zi Shan tightly. Tang Wei and Drifting Soul were in a more miserable state. One betrayed, and the other was kidnapped. However, they were all very strong, and their courage was commendable. Yihua walked to the front of Yi Juetian, then patted onto Yi Juetian's shoulder, "Little Tian. Good luck." "Yes. Big brother, I won't embarrass you," Yi Juetian said seriously. "Very good. As expected of my younger brother." Yihua was very satisfied with his younger brother's attitude. This is what a man should be like. Looking at his subordinates, Yihua felt that in the next few years, he might not be able to celebrate the new year together and have a reunion dinner. However, the sorrow of separation would be the joy of reunion. Yihua was looking forward to that day. Yi Juetian, Tang Wei, Lv Liang, Yi Hong, Dongfang Yuer, and Li Hun stood at the side. Yi Zizi shouted, "All the best. I'll wait for you to come back so we can play together." Zhu Tian looked at Dongfang Yuer and finally spoke. "I will wait for you to come back, Yuer." A smile appeared on Dongfang Yuer's face. There is a saying, even if I die, I will come back. Chapter 1194. Pig Liver said happily, "Although we have not known each other for long, I still want to get to know you all again, so you must definitely come back." After finished speaking, he even patted on his chest, looking very encouraging. Zi Shan sobbed and shouted out towards Yi Hong, "Damn you, if you don't come back, I will make you a cuckold." "Yi Hong, such a heavy atmosphere, you are actually talking about this. Look at how his honor is smiling, can you be a bit more serious?" Right at this moment, Sun Fang walked out from the group and stood beside Tang Wei. "Sun Fang?" Yihua asked puzzledly. "Your Honor, I want to go too, I have already thought it through," Sun Fang said respectfully. Death Mage's departure let her know that strength was also very important. Yihua knew what Sun Fang meant and did not stop her. Then, another 3 figures walked out from the group, and they were actually Lai Gu's 3 wives. Yi, Wen Xia, and Bai Xiaozhen. "Your Honor, we want to go too," Yi said respectfully. Yihua asked gravely, "What are you all going to do?" Bai Xiaozhen belonged to the type of person that relied on humans, but right now, she was exceptionally firm. "Your Honor, we are going to detoxify Lai Gu's poison." Yihua did not say anything and swept his gaze across his subordinates. Within the group, they were considered to be the weaker ones. Right now, all of them finally realized that without powerful strength, they wouldn't be able to protect the people around them. "All right, I will be waiting for your triumphant return," Yihua shouted out straightforwardly. "Wei Chang, bring the wine over," Yihua shouted out subconsciously. However, the atmosphere seemed to have become quiet, and Tang Wei seemed very gloomy. Luo Ho walked over with a bowl of wine. "Your Honor, the wine is here." Yihua nodded his head. "I forgot that even Wei Chang got cheated. After finishing this bowl of wine, you all can go." Yihua raised the bowl of wine in his hand and drank it in one gulp. Everyone else did the same. "Your Honor, subordinate will not throw your Honor's face. And yourselves as well," Yihua added. "Yes." Yi Juetian was the first to jump into the whirlpool, and Tang Wei followed suit without hesitation. The green and red brothers were the same as well. Everyone jumped into the whirlpool. In an instant, half of the entire group disappeared, and the group seemed to have calmed down a lot. Yihua kept the whirlpool, then said to the remaining people, "Remember, they are currently training, and if they were to help us, it would be meaningless." "Understood." All the subordinates shouted respectfully. However, right at this moment, South Wuchi's Kuang Sha said respectfully, "Your Honor, it was hard for subordinate to say just now, but recently, I received a report that Lai Gu was discovered by someone." Yihua's brows wrinkled. Lai Gu was discovered. Yihua furrowed her brows. Kuang Sha, who was in charge of the order in the city, had only found out about it in the past few days. In order to confirm the news, Huang Sha had personally investigated it. It was indeed so. Lai Gu, who was hiding in the valley, was discovered by someone. Furthermore, the news had already spread out. He didn't say anything just now because he didn't want them to worry. That's right, Your Honor. The news spread very quickly, and it seems like the entire north side knows about it. In a few days, the south side will know about it as well. Yi Hua nodded his head. Previously, I had also considered the problem of Lai Gu's main body, but I didn't expect that Lai Gu's main body would still be discovered. Zhu Tian said respectfully, Your Honor, if Lai Gu is discovered, I'm afraid that it will cause a very big commotion in Kangluo continent. Yeah, Lai Gu's appearance is deeply engraved in people's hearts. Yi Zizi muttered. Dong Huang Baiji was a little curious. Is there a problem with Lai Gu's appearance being discovered by others? Up until now, Yi Hua still hasn't told Dong Huang Baiji what kind of person he was back then. Yi Hua let out a deep breath. Seems like there is a change in the plan again. Yi Hua originally didn't plan to act so quickly, but the conflict between his subordinates caused the situation to be a bit out of control. Forget it, what is going to come will eventually come. Then, prepare for battle. Yi Hua said gravely. Yes. All of Yi Hua's subordinates revealed out a bloodthirsty expression. Recently, they have been feeling very vexed. Since there is someone who is courting death and delivered himself to us, then don't blame us. You don't want to walk on the bright path, yet you insist on barging into hell. You are truly courting death. Suddenly, a female official with a nervous expression stumbled into the hall. When she saw the people in front of her, she hurriedly lowered her head and kneeled onto the ground. Sweat couldn't help but appear on her forehead. Just now, I felt as if I saw a demon, so scary. Who allowed you to come in? Zhu Tian shouted out coldly. The female official said while trembling with fear, Your Majesty. Your Honor, the palace maid who delivered breakfast just now reported back, said what? Yi Hua asked puzzledly. Said. Prince Ye's fiancée is pregnant. Following what the female official said, everyone was stupefied. Other than his honor, Yi Hua is probably the second man who is able to make a woman pregnant. Yi Hua was also stupefied. Little brother just left, and that woman is already pregnant. Could it be that Gong Yu knew that I am pregnant and intentionally didn't tell little Tian about it so that little Tian can leave without any worries? Yi Hua guessed correctly, Gong Yu is indeed like that. This woman truly loves Yi Juetian. The things that Gong Yu did in the past were indeed malicious, but they were all done for Yi Juetian. Dong Wang Baiji also didn't expect that Gong Yu would actually be pregnant with little Tian's child. If that's the case, Gong Yu definitely can't stay in that kind of place. No matter what, Gong Yu is still Yi family's child. If mother-in-law were to know about it, she would definitely be very happy. I understand, you can leave now. Yes. Your Majesty. The female official was startled. Just now, due to the matter regarding Prince Ye's fiancé, she stumbled into the hall. Right now, her entire body was drenched in cold sweat due to her own actions. A trace of a smile appeared on Yi Hua's face. The birth of a little life seems to represent a new phenomenon. This is an auspicious sign. Alright, let's end the meeting here for today. Meeting adjourned. Yi Hua said with a relaxed tone. All of Yi Hua's subordinates could feel it. Congratulations, Your Honor. What are you congratulating me for? Following Yi Hua's words, all of Yi Hua's subordinates laughed. Dong Huang Baiji shook her head. Yi Hua seems to have returned back to normal. This child sure came at the right time. After all of the subordinates left, Yi Hua smiled towards Dong Huang Baiji. Little Tian is rather capable to be able to make someone pregnant. That's right, someone died. Dong Huang Baiji laughed tenderly. Let's go and take a look. No matter what, he is still Yi family's child, he cannot be born in that kind of place, how inauspicious is that? Dong Huang Baiji nodded her head. However, she asked curiously, that's right, Yi Hua, why did Lai Gu have such a huge reaction when other people found out about it? After hearing that, Yi Hua's body stiffened. Seeing Yi Hua's action, Dong Huang Baiji knew that this fellow is still hiding something from me. This is simply too hateful, that, Yi Hua. Alright, after I see Gong Yu, I will tell you everything. However, you have to be mentally prepared. Yi Hua warned. In actuality, he also had a good idea just now. Chapter 1195. If someone was at the surface of the ocean, they would be able to see that the entire ocean had been opened up. That's right, the ocean had been opened up, just like a quilt, it was simply not difficult at all. However, the ocean that was opened up formed a huge wave that was thousands of meters tall, and the wave simply covered the entire sky. It was extremely terrifying. Furthermore, this huge wave even contained the aura of the two people, it was simply going to flatten the entire continent. Most probably, even Yi Hua and the palace master didn't know about it, but even if they knew, the two of them seemed to be engrossed in the battle. Not bad. Yi Hua said faintly. This palace master is stronger than those guardians, this battle will only be interesting. The palace master smiled, you are not bad too, then. Are you going to get serious next? Of course. Yi Hua's gaze turned cold. From that punch just now, the palace master's strength is already on par with mine. This made me very surprised. In actuality, the palace master was also very surprised. Although he had been sealed for so many years, he had been constantly increasing his cultivation, and he didn't dare to waste any time. After all, no one would want to be sealed again after coming out. However, after that punch just now, the palace master knew that the man in front of him wasn't acting cool, he was truly formidable. It was impossible for him to underestimate the enemy. Right now, Lord Ming said gravely, the opponent is really very strong. Indeed, but the palace master's strength is even stronger. Falling Dust worshipped the palace master brainlessly. This was a fact that couldn't be changed. Looking at the back view of the palace master, Drunken Cry's gaze was also filled with passion. The palace master is really strong. He is completely not on the same level as me. However, Wei Chang didn't feel the same way. This palace master is indeed strong, but his honor's strength is even stronger. One must know that his honor isn't the king in terms of strength, rather, it is all kinds of spells that are the fatal ones. Right now, his honor is still playing, using his weak point to defeat the opponent's strong point. Right now, the palace master clenched his fists tightly, and the stones on his body immediately blossomed with dazzling light, as if he had entered into an old disco. However, Yi Hua could feel that these stones weren't that simple. It seems like they contain a huge amount of energy. His honor, next. You will be beaten to death by me. Palace master, when I beat you to death, it is as easy as pinching a cockroach to death. I am looking forward to being beaten to death by you, come. All right. Yi Hua's figure instantly disappeared from where he was, and the palace master did the same as well. At this level of battle, power and speed were the most important. Yellow Dragon Rod of Fate. Palace master fiercely swung the rod towards the sky. The berserk aura instantly split the sky into two. Dong Huang Baiji immediately released a burst of energy and blocked the berserk aura. Luo Chen, who was standing at the side, did the same as well. The orange building belonged to the highest floor, and thus, when the highest floor was defended, the lower floor was safe and sound. Yellow Dragon Rod of Fate. The name sounds very domineering, what effect does it have? Yihua asked curiously. Naturally, I won't tell you. In a while, you will know just how terrifying my current outfit is. What you have seen is just the tip of the iceberg. Palace Master seemed to be very confident. Yihua smiled faintly and said, "Seems like your understanding of me is not enough. What you have seen right now is just the tip of the iceberg. I, the Palace Master, naturally know about it, but..." Before the Palace Master could finish his words, his figure had already disappeared. This caused Yihua's gaze to focus as he thought to himself. This fellow's speed is so fast. A terrifying energy condensed above Yihua's head. Yihua didn't dare to be careless and immediately took out a blood-red shield. Then, Yihua placed the shield horizontally above his head. Right after Yihua finished his action, the rod in the Palace Master's hand fell down. Yihua had a bad premonition. Dog-beating style, ruthless strike. Bang! A boundless airwave was produced, and with the two of them as the center, the entire world instantly exploded. The space seemed to be on the verge of collapsing, and it was almost unable to hold on any longer. If the space were to collapse, then, the 9 provinces and 5 seas would be completely gone. Gotcha! A crack appeared on Yihua's shield. Without giving Yihua any time to react, the shield instantly split apart. The terrifying power directly smashed onto Yihua's arm. Yihua's expression tensed up. I was too careless. Yihua's figure could be seen descending from the sky, and his speed was so fast that flames were actually created from the friction. Yihua directly smashed through the orange building, and then continued, until he smashed into the depths of the sea. Chapter 1196. Back then, we even had a one-night stand, and you even called me daddy. Donghuang Baiji, you. Are you really Yihua? Donghuang Baiji asked gravely. Of course. Then why do you look like this? You can think of it as Death Mage, he just doesn't have a physical body, but I do. Then, how did you make me pregnant? Did you shoot my bone marrow? Donghuang Baiji looked towards Yihua's triangular region. That fellow is gone, Yihua said snappily. Shoot your head, I have a physical body alright. Do you know what is called reconstructing one's physical body? I don't know, I only know that you are a skeleton. That's right. You. That skeleton from back then was also you. No wonder Wei Chang and the others were very astonished back then, even Do Fusher was the same, they all know that you are his honor. Only Qingya and I didn't know, you are playing with us again. Donghuang Baiji's face turned red from anger. When Yihua turned into a human, Donghuang Baiji knew that she wouldn't be able to accept it. Sigh, I know, I am a skeleton, you all will be suspicious of me. Yihua said sadly, then slowly sat at the side, as if he was very pitiful. Donghuang Baiji was puzzled. I am the one who is angry. You are obviously the one who lied to us, yet you are still putting on such a pitiful look. Do you want me to coax you? That's why I didn't dare to tell you all, fearing that you all would leave me after seeing my current appearance. Yihua said gravely. That was indeed what he was thinking. After all, his physical body was very handsome, to suddenly tell them that he was a skeleton, the contrast was too strong. Donghuang Baiji looked at Yihua with a puzzled expression. Acting pitiful again, if your subordinates were to see your current appearance, wouldn't they laugh at you? I am an undead, back then, I was a deity, it was that emperor who killed me, my corpse fell onto Kangluo continent, my physical body was destroyed, and I became a skeleton. Yihua said lightly. In the past, I didn't know, but now, I am able to understand. Hearing that, Donghuang Baiji asked gravely, you are saying that you have already died a long time ago. That's right, I have already died, I became an undead without any humanity, I was detested by everyone. Just take a look at Kangluo continent, and you will know, the people's hatred towards other races is very high. Dong Huang Baiji nodded. That was indeed the case. The more Dong Huang Baiji listened, the more she felt pity for Yi Hua. Shaking her head, this fellow only knows how to use this method to deceive others. Qinya and I have already been deceived by him countless times. He was simply a maniac who cheated on his wife. With a straight face, Dong Huang Baiji sat at the bedside. Yi Hua stood up, then sat at the side and embraced Dong Huang Baiji into his embrace. The latter struggled a little symbolically before snorting, and then... In a valley not far away, Lai Gu's enormous body was coiled up. Lai Gu slowly opened his eyes and looked at the beautiful figure on top of the mountain, then said weakly, "Yu Hua, you are here again. Where are the three of them?" The three of them went to train. Train? Train what? Lai Gu sat up, and the surrounding mountain started trembling. Yu Hua said lightly, "You don't have to worry, His Honor's younger brother is also in there, and there are others as well." Yu Hua said everything that she knew. "What, those three are actually going to such a dangerous place? I have to go and stop them." "No need to go, they have already left." "Already left? Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Lai Gu said gloomily. "They seemed to know that you wouldn't agree to it, so they joined in before they left." Yu Hua said helplessly. "Aren't they living well? Why did they suddenly want to leave?" Sigh, those three women are really too free. They said that they want to give you face in the future. After hearing that, Lai Gu went into a daze, and his heart felt warm. Those fools are really my good women. While thinking, Lai Gu directly lied down on the ground, causing a large amount of dust to fly up. "That's right, Lai Gu, there is one more thing that I need to tell you. Pig-livered Danglong is back." "What? Pig-livered Danglong is back? There is no problem with him." "There is no problem with him, he is just very concerned about you, Wei Chang laughed lightly, "He really didn't change." Are Daddy and his subordinates really that awesome? He even wanted to shout that he was their boss's child. I don't know what the consequences will be. Dong Huangli raised her hand and asked curiously, "Teacher, how powerful are they?" The old man looked at Dong Huangli and revealed a smile. Back then, these 8 people's strength had reached the pinnacle of overlords. Ordinary overlords weren't a match for them at all. After countless of them died, they finally prayed to a deity. With the help of a deity, we were able to emerge victorious. God Yi felt uncomfortable when he heard that. How could Daddy lose? It must be a scheme. "Master, I want to hear the details," God Yi said calmly. He had the demeanor of a father. Towards Dong Huangli and God Yi, the old man was also very fond of them. At that time, we gathered 105 supreme martial artists. We invited them to fight to the death. Before that, we set up the great formation of heaven's wrath. God Yi knew it. Over 100 supreme martial artists fought against Daddy and the others, and they even used such a method. How despicable. Dong Huangli was also very displeased, and she asked curiously, "What is the great formation of heaven's wrath?" The old man laughed lightly. "The great formation of heaven's wrath is the deity's royal formation. This formation requires a lot of contracts, but as long as this formation is activated and the enemy falls for it, the enemy's strength will be suppressed by 30%. After hearing that, Dong Huangli and God Ye's faces turned cold. To actually use such a despicable method, Daddy actually fell for it. At that time, Yi Hua was brainless, and he was stubborn. And then, in exchange for that, he paid a painful price. Before that battle, we formulated a plan against everyone, found their weaknesses, and attacked them. And the facts proved that. Those people were indeed very strong, but they didn't bring their brains with them. Other than fighting head-on, they only knew how to fight head-on. They didn't have the ability to cooperate with a team, and they were all individualistic. The old man's evaluation was very accurate. Back then, Yi Hua and his subordinates fought head-on without any strategy. In fact, they didn't even bring their equipment with them, and they completely underestimated their opponents. God Yi said faintly, "Perhaps, it's different now." The old man laughed, "God Yi, those people have already been exterminated, and they will never appear again." Dong Huangli rolled her eyes. "You don't know Daddy's strength. If you knew, you wouldn't say that." However, right at that moment, a teacher ran into the hall in a panic, then whispered a few words into the old man's ear. The old man's expression became serious, and soon after, he left the hall. Dong Huangli and God Yi took a look at each other. The old man directly went to the sect leader's palace. After arriving at the palace, the old man shouted out respectfully, "Sect leader. Is the news true?" Eternal Hatred's expression was very bad. Recently, things have been coming one after another, and that Tai he even went missing. I'm afraid that this news is related to this matter as well. Elder Ming, this news came from the north. As for its reliability, we still don't know yet. Eternal Hatred said while looking far away. Elder Ming stroked his beard and said lightly, "Sect leader, is there any news about that skeleton from back then? The law enforcement team is still pursuing him." Sect leader, could Tai He's disappearance be related to this matter? Were the tremors in the south caused by those people? With all these people added together. Sect leader, we have to be on guard against them. Elder Ming stopped and said, appearing very experienced. Eternal Hatred let out a long sigh. Elder Ming, to tell you the truth, the gathering 10 years ago was because the deities weren't clear about the other party's strength. They used heaven's wrath and all kinds of secret techniques to kill the other party. However, half of the Supremes died, and some of them were heavily injured. Will they be willing to come? Even if we gather all of the Supremes in the Kangluo continent, we still won't be a match for them. The most important question is, they died back then, so why did they appear again? What have they done in the past 10 years, and what realm are they at? We don't know anything. Elder Ming understood that the sect leader doesn't seem to be willing to fight anymore. He's afraid of being beaten up. Although the humans won the battle 10 years ago, those 8 people left an unerasable pain in their hearts. This kind of pain was like a nightmare that accompanied them, and they were unable to forget about it. Sect leader, if this is true, what should our Meridian Break sect do? Chapter 1198. Eternal Hatred said helplessly, as long as they don't do anything, we'll pretend that we didn't see anything. Right, just call the law enforcement team back. Don't provoke them anymore. We can't afford to lose our supreme martial artists. Yes. Yuan Ming quickly retreated. He felt that the Kangluo continent was about to change. Right after Yuan Ming left, a fat figure appeared in the hole. Everlasting Hatred, have you heard? That bone dragon has appeared. Luin Yen said with a shocked tone. Everlasting Hatred nodded. Of course I know. Why are you still standing there if you know? Run. Luin Yen said, why aren't you running? Are you waiting for others to kill you? Eternal Hatred smiled helplessly. Luin Yen, I am the sect master of the Broken Meridian sect. If I run away, the people of Kangluo continent will break my backbone. That's better than being killed. If those people really come back to life, they must be very terrifying. Didn't you feel what happened a few days ago? The entire southern region is like the end of the world. We don't even have the power to fight back. Luin Yen, go to the gods' realm. I still have to stay and take care of this sect. Do you like being a sect master that much? Wouldn't it be better for us to go to the gods' realm? Luan Yan really didn't understand, was his life more important or his reputation more important? When you go to the gods' realm, who will still know you? It's just like a new beginning. Besides, the Zhizun is also very popular in the gods' realm. Let's go. Luan Yan even pulled Changhen back. After all, they were fellow disciples back then, and their relationship was very good. Enduring hatred shook his head, I won't go. If the meridian-breaking sect perishes, I will perish with it. You pedantic man. I really want to beat you up. Do you want to be like Taihe? Are you happy that he disappeared? If it really comes to that, there's nothing I can do. Enduring hatred smiled. After thinking it through, he felt much more relaxed. I surrender to you. The flustered and exasperated Luan Yan sat at the side and turned his face away, ignoring Changhen like a child throwing a tantrum. Eternal hatred also sat beside Luan Yan. What? You're not leaving either. If I leave, who will collect your corpse? I didn't participate in it that year. Eternal hatred patted Luan Yan's shoulder. Senior brother, thank you. So you still remember that I'm your senior brother? I've never seen such a disobedient junior brother. Master is about to be angered to death by you. Luan Yan patted his butt and walked out. Eternal hatred smiled bitterly and then sighed helplessly. He hoped that there would be no chaos. Right now, Yihua still didn't know that the things that we and the others did back then were already so vicious to the point that even if others knew about it, they wouldn't dare to rashly come over. Even the experts pretended that they didn't know where the bone dragon was. Seriously, they still had to go home and boil some water. However, just as Yihua was preparing to welcome a large number of people who were sent to die, he didn't see a single person coming over for a few days, causing Yihua to be puzzled. Could it be that these people are planning to secretly ambush me? Or were they gathering a large number of troops? Looks like I, the Supreme Overlord, also have to prepare to deal with them. I have to let them know that I, the Supreme Overlord, am not someone to be trifled with. There was no return. All of the subordinates started getting restless, thinking to themselves that there will definitely be a lot of people coming back this time, and at that time, I will be able to kill to my heart's content. It was extremely comfortable. However, Yihua might not be able to wait for those people, because those people didn't plan to come over at all. God's realm. Ever since Yi Yuanqing returned to God's realm, he started to deal with the matter of sitting on the throne. When Yi Shan heard that his daughter was going to become the emperor, he was scared to the point that both of his legs were trembling. Seeing how afraid his father was, Yi Yuanqing shook his head helplessly. Back then, how brave was his father? But now, he is afraid no matter what he does. Yi Shan was definitely afraid. If his daughter didn't succeed, then the new emperor would be the first to attack Yi family. Yi family would definitely die. However, this time, Yi Yuanqing's brothers were of one mind and all agreed with their big sister's suggestion. Take a gamble, turn a bicycle into a motorbike. I've had enough of this kind of life. When Yi Shan heard that his sons were mixing around with his big sister, he shouted that Yi Yuanqing was a sinful daughter and was led astray by that unfilial son Yihua. He immediately fainted from anger. Yi Yuanqing was very helpless. I still have to do it. This time, with Shan Junren's help, I will be able to get twice the result with half the effort. After all, Shan Junren is the prime minister. Shan Yu had no choice. His father actually chose to stand on the side of Yi Yuanqing. Of course, other than Shan Junren, there was also Qian Yi, Qian Yuqing's father. This was also what Qian Yuqing had entrusted to Yi Yuanqing. When Qian Yi heard that just now, she was also quite frightened. Yi Yuanqing wants to become the emperor. Is she crazy? The emperors of the gods' realm are all from the royal family, and furthermore, there is no precedent of a woman becoming the emperor. This is truly a crazy action. If I don't help, my daughter might also suffer a calamity. This is truly a headache. However, Yi Yuanqing should have gone and asked his son-in-law before. His son-in-law is so powerful, helping his sister to become the emperor should be a piece of cake. At Yi family, Yi Yuanqing and Shan Yu were standing at the side of a pond. Yi Yuanqing was holding onto a bowl of fodder and was scattering it from time to time. Chapter 1199. Yi Yuanqing said softly, "Shan Yu, our real enemy is not the royal family, but the mysterious Donghuang family." Did General Yi say that? Shan Yu asked curiously. He had also heard of this mysterious family. Yi Yuanqing nodded. Yes, my big brother told me to be careful. Even if I become the emperor, I have to be careful of the Donghuang surname. Since Prince Yi said so, then we really have to pay attention. Now, we still have to seize the throne. Shan Yu actually knew that the fight for the throne this time was not so simple. Yi Yuanqing's advantage was in the army. He had his father's faction in the imperial court, and many people had yet to express their stance. Some of them were even thinking about the royal family. If Lord Yi could come back at this time, then the royal family would not be so arrogant. However, Shan Yu also knew that Lord Yi didn't come back because he wanted to train his sister. There were some things that needed to be fought for by oneself. Only then would one know the hardships involved. However, he still hoped that Lord Yi would be there. That way, things would be much simpler. After all, the royal family was still very afraid of Lord Yi. Although Yi Yuanqing was Lord Ye's sister, Lord Yi did not express his stance. The royal family believed that Prince Yi had a laissez-faire attitude. Whoever had the ability would be the emperor. This was indeed Yi Hua's attitude. Of course, if his little sister was to lose in the end, as the big brother, he would still have to save her. However, Yi Hua believed in Yi Yuanqing's strength. Tomorrow will be an important day. Yi Yuanqing said in a low voice and took a sip of tea. He felt that this was more tiring than being a general. Tomorrow would be the final decision, and he did not know how it would end. Shan Yu said in a deep voice, "General Yi, the military power in your hands cannot be wasted. Shan Yu, the royal family also has military power. But the morale of the army is with you. As long as General Yi says a word, I believe all the generals will stand behind General Yi. I know, but this is no different from usurping the throne. After all, I am not a member of the royal family. If I want to be the emperor, I have to follow the hearts of the people. Recently, the emperor has done good deeds and gained a lot of fame. He even sent people to spread the news that I want to take the throne. The hearts of the people are about to collapse," Yi Yuanqing said in a low voice. Shan Yu couldn't hold it in any longer and growled, "Yi Yuanqing. How did you become a general? He wasn't decisive in his killing. This is the imperial court, just like a battlefield. You've held back. The enemy will kill you. And you're the one who's going to be the empress. There are some things that you have to make a choice. Put away your conscience." "No, if I put away my conscience, what's the difference between sitting on the throne and others? I want to benefit the gods' realm, I don't want to play those tricks. If you want to fight, then fight fair and square." Shan Yu held on to his forehead. "My God. How did you become a general? You have to act according to the situation. This is a struggle for political power. What you do on the battlefield is useless. Then you still have to sit on the throne. You can't even sit on the throne, so how can you talk about benefiting the gods' realm?" Shan Yu tried his best to persuade Yi Yuanqing. If not, he wouldn't be in such a passive position. If Yi Yuanqing made a move, he would be able to counterattack. However, Yi Yuanqing wouldn't let him. Shan Yu finally knew how troublesome this woman was. She was simply intoxicating. If women were all so troublesome, he would rather not marry for the rest of his life. I won't forget my original intentions. If worse comes to worst, I'll just get scolded by Big Brother. Yi Yuanqing. Do you think that it's just scolding? You are fighting with Huang Min. If Huang Min has the authority of the emperor, do you think that Yi family can still be saved? Can you not be childish? Shan Yu couldn't help but roar. This woman is simply stupid to the extreme. Father actually asked me to come and assist him. I'm going to be angered to death at any moment. Yi Yuanqing looked towards Shan Yu. Although the latter's strength wasn't strong, he still glared back at Shan Yu. I have already made up my mind. Let's meet during the morning court session tomorrow. I'm going to rest. After speaking, Yi Yuanqing returned to his room, leaving behind Shan Yu, who was standing at the same spot in a daze. If I don't move my troops, I will definitely lose tomorrow. However, Yi Yuanqing also knew about this point, but he didn't expect that it would be so difficult, to the point that even if he wanted to change his original intentions, he wouldn't be able to do it. During the 1 month that he came back, Yi Yuanqing was both mentally and physically exhausted. Sometimes, he really didn't want to be an emperor anymore. Especially when he heard the slander that the people had towards him, he felt very sad. In the end, Yi Yuanqing was only a general. Being an emperor and being a general were two different things. A good general might not be a good emperor. Shan Yu had no choice but to leave. I have to go back and talk to my father about this matter, and whether or not I should support the royal family during the morning court session tomorrow. If not, Shan family is going to perish. Accompanying a monarch is like accompanying a tiger. Back then, if Shan Yu were to stand on Yi Yuanqing's side, it would mean that he was standing on the opposite side of the royal family. If Shan Yu were to lose, would the new emperor, Huang Min, be able to forgive Shan Yu? That is impossible. All of Yi family's factions are going to die. Shan Yu can't let Shan family take the risk. How powerful must they be in order to take down the spiritual capital? Silly daughter, why did you run to the front again? Father already lost a son. Father does not want to lose another daughter. In actuality, in Yi Shan's heart, Yi Hua was already dead. The current Yi Hua was no longer the Yi Hua from back then. It had to be said that Yi Shan's sixth sense was very accurate. He even knew this. I, 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 he, I, then my. I. In actuality, Spirit City was truly very big, and for those overlords who were flying in the sky, they would be able to fly very far in a single breath's time. However, right now, 3 breaths had already passed, and they had only arrived at the entrance of the city. The 100+ people standing in the sky were the fastest overlords. However, there was not a single member of the royal family. I have to say, the royal family had already fallen. They did not even have a single overlord. But just like what Huang Min said, as a manager, why do you need strength? What you need is courage. And yet, there were actually people who believed it. This kind of theory was unheard of, but it was worth a try. But this was the gods' realm, a place where strength was respected. Without strength, how could one convince the masses? Just like now, not a single member of the royal family could come out to battle. Hundreds of people stood in the sky and looked down. But outside the city, it was completely silent. There was no army, not even a shadow. The bell above the city gate was still shaking, and the people were indeed gone. Everyone felt a chill down their spine. Yi Yuanqing's position was the highest. Right now, Qian Yi stood at the side and asked respectfully, General Yi, what should we do now? Investigate. We must get to the bottom of what happened tonight. Why did the bell ring for no reason? Where did the people guarding the city go? Just as Yi Yuanqing finished speaking, a ferocious and sharp aura came attacking. The speed was so fast that it made everyone speechless. This attack, the air seemed to have solidified, and everyone seemed to have been frozen in place. A ray of cold light immediately blossomed, and the tip of the sword went straight for Yi Yuanqing's forehead. Yi Yuanqing was startled, his entire body was unable to move, and he could not even take out the bell. Big Brother said, as long as he was in a dangerous situation, there would be a surprise by ringing the bell. But right now, he was unable to move at all, and he could only watch as the ferocious sharp sword attacked. Right now, the cold wind was whistling, and only that ray of silver cold light was left, as if it was going to pierce through the heaven and earth. Everyone was unable to believe it. There was actually someone who used such a sword. The might of this sword shocked the 100 overlords. They were unable to move. Awe. Chapter 1201. Teleportation was naturally used to send things to other planes. Some planes were very special and could only rely on Spirit Capital's teleportation formation, which was a unique formation. Perhaps gods were not the strongest, but their bloodline was the noblest. All their strength originated from the god realm. So no matter how strong a plane was, the people inside were all from the god realm, just that they pursued higher realms. Facing this man's request, the hundreds of supremes refused. Because everyone knew the importance of teleportation. They were the guardians of Spirit Capital and had the responsibility to stop it. But this time, it would not be so easy to stop it. Because this was Do Fusher after being modified by Qing Su. If the previous Do Fusher was Wei Chong version 1.0, then this was Qing Su version 2.9. No one knew what Do Fusher had been through these days. It was as if he had been tortured by Qing Su, but he no longer had any consciousness. He did not know what resistance was, nor did he know what pain was. He only knew one thing. Do Fusher waved the long sword in his hand. A crescent sword chi instantly shot to the side. This sword chi was terrifying, emitting a violent astral wind that seemed to be able to pierce through everything. Whoosh! 10 supremes were instantly sliced in half. They did not even have time to react, and even if they did not dare to move due to this aura. Yi Yuanqing's face turned pale when he saw this. Killing 10 supremes in one move. This man. Who was he? Primordial spirits instantly appeared, and Do Fusher waved his hand again. Even the primordial spirits could not escape. Everyone was in despair. To be able to kill supremes in one move, he must be above supremes. Yi Yuanqing looked at the sword in Do Fusher's hand, wondering if this sword was very strong. But this was just an ordinary long sword of the city guards. This made Yi Yuanqing very uneasy. Looking at the broken roof, Yi Yuanqing was anxious. How was his father's injury? But his father's primordial spirit did not come out, so he should still be saved. Do Fusher asked again, where is the teleportation? I do not wish to see your expressions of rejection. Everyone did not know what expression to show, because they were not his match at all. He could kill them all in one move. We supremes were like lambs in a pen, waiting to be slaughtered. Do Fusher's gaze swept across the crowd, his expression turning solemn. This version of Do Fusher was probably rarely seen by others, because Do Fusher had always been a joker. Even if he kept a straight face, he would still make people laugh out loud. This was a person who lived for comedy, but what about now? The smile had disappeared and was replaced by a terrifying killing intent. Just now, you even dared to kill his honor's little sister. It even injured Yi Shan directly.